Hey guys, this is Marcus here, and as you can see, this video contains some of the build-up play and goals from the IGN and GameSpot PES 2016 videos straight from E3. Now of course I've cut this to hell in terms of editing, so if just you want to watch the whole video of an interview from Adam Batty for both of the gameplay segments, you'll just find a link to both in the description below for the full video. But let's get started. Of course, I would advise you to watch them yourself and give your feedback and impressions in the comment section below. Basically, this is a video where I'm giving my feedback, what I personally think makes the game look amazing, what makes it maybe look a bit weird, and of course the impressions. First impressions, extremely positive. It looks so much better than last year. Last year I was a bit like, I wasn't skeptical. I was like, this looks so much better than PES 2014. This year looks a lot more smoother and whatnot, so that looks really good. The graphics again still look absolutely superb. The Fox engine is doing an amazing job, makes the players look very lifelike, very animated, especially in the cutscenes and whatnot when you see like up close images of the player. So it looks really good. The animations again look fantastic. The game didn't look that bad in terms of animations on PES 2015, but it's still there's the animations between the players look fantastic every once in a while, but there are still a bit things when they're dribbling, like quick directions between like diagonally left and diagonally like right, and it does look still a little bit too robotic, but I think that's just down to like people doing it really quickly, and also potentially this is supposedly a very early build of the actual game. Even the game comes out in like 3 months time, it's still supposedly an early build, so then again, who knows, but I think personally it looks really good. The animations look much better than last year, but they could still potentially look a lot better. I mean, I've seen the FIFA 16 gameplay demo, and the FIFA 16 one looks a lot like FIFA 15, but then again, FIFA have had it done for quite some time of looking, their animations looking up quite fantastic. So it looks better than PES 20, the animations look better than PES 2015, but they've got a little bit more animation work to go on until they can reach the next step. But going on with that, crowds do look a little bit more defined. Not exactly 3D models like they showed in the trailer, because of course you're not going to see the crowds up close like that and like several times anyway. But they're a lot better than last year, like in terms of gameplay wise. It doesn't actually look like they're like cardboard cutouts in the crowd, which makes it look a lot better actually. It makes the game look a lot more realistic. The ball seems a lot more free, and the physics based. It looks more free in physics space, which makes the game itself look more realistic. For example, like at the start of the video when they kick the ball long and you see the ball bounces, the player tries to control it and like he hits it along back to the centre back and the ball bounces again. It looks quite good like that. Again, it does look a bit too much streamlined in terms of just normal passing. It looks like the ball sort of does stay on the ground quite a lot. It doesn't really like swerve on the ground, and it doesn't seem to bobble on the ground either. But then again, we don't know, like, it again, early build, so they could always add it in. To be fair, I don't really care for that, but some people really do care for it. But moving on to the collision system, which adds to the game, the collision system looks absolutely fantastic, especially aerial challenges. It creates realism, and it doesn't create too many crazy situations. It's just a nice addition to the game without breaking it completely. It doesn't break immersion or anything like the FIFA one did at the beginning. Well, it doesn't seem to anyway. It seems like a lot of the collisions are relatively realistic, and it just seems to make it look really good. But moving on to the aerial challenges, it does help the shorter defenders challenge tall strikers, and vice versa, like I already said before in my trailer breakdown and my first impressions of that. So that was quite good as well. So moving on to that, the player celebrations, they look relatively quite cool. However, it just seems that the player input for custom celebrations is quite limited, but again, I like that because I'd rather have like normal celebrations than just have everyone do ridiculous celebrations. So I'm okay with that. It's just basically you have a preset like ability to do something before he's gonna go and just do his normal celebration anyway, which is what I wasn't really expecting anything different, to be honest. The Neymar celebration behind the goal in the third video, I think, is really a really nice celebration where he runs behind the goal and the whole squad follow him, and then they jump on him. It's quite cool. But moving on to the added cutscenes between the referee and the players add to the realism. Like for example, like there's a lot of cutscenes where people like wave their finger at him like, no, it's never a foul, and he's just like, you shut up, and he goes over, talks to the player, and like doesn't give him a yellow card. But hopefully, like in the full game, they'll be doing like no, and he's like, no, that is a yellow card, and goes maybe gives him a yellow or even a red. So that'd be quite cool as well to see. Of course, the games which are being shown, I'm going to assume are on extremely low difficulty, because the goalies should probably be saving the majority of the shots, which I see, especially someone like Manuel Neuer. Like some of the goals are right in the corner, so it's like fair enough, but some of them are like right at him and he just doesn't do anything, and it breaks the immersion of how good the game looks, and you see your goalie is just being absolutely horrendous. So hopefully it's just the goalies are on, the game itself is on a low difficulty. The player reactions are really cool, especially when Oscar reacts to a foul when Willian scores in the rain for the second time. It like reminds me when Koscielny scored, when Mertesacker scored in the FA Cup final, and Koscielny, like if you go back and watch it, Koscielny's like being pissed off at the referee for being fouled, even though Mertesacker's off celebrating. It makes it look quite cool and adds more to the game. Again, of course, it's just down because the animation has to run completely before he goes off to celebrate with his pal. So it's just interesting to see that as well, which it adds to the game again. But the goalkeeper save in the first game is pretty impressive. There's definite improvements in the animations for that. So of course the animations are meant to be 3 times the animations in general. So it looks really good, to be fair. The rain again looks fantastic. Actually affects the match and the ball. It affects the pitch, like proper dynamic weather. Stuff like that is cool, and it actually affects stuff. But like Adam Batty says in one of the interviews, it's like he doesn't want people to be playing it and then like the ball to be taken, like you're just like, oh, you're winning 4-0, and then it's like, oh, the game drastically changes. It changes, but it doesn't change to a point where you're like, oh, I can't play in the rain, like in FIFA, where a lot of people can't play in the rain. Personally, I'm not really too bothered by it, but a lot of people can. It doesn't drastically change the game. It ever so slightly changes it and makes the ball a little bit more fluid on the ground. People sliding a little bit more often, but not like all the time. So it does look really good. Nets still look relatively stiff. I'm sure someone probably shout out at me going like, you didn't mention the nets, because personally I don't care that much about nets, but some people really care about it. The injury to Hector when it's raining looks really cool, well done. However, it would be quite cool to see him walk off or get stretchered off to get treatment. Like in the old days, those were old days now. Like PES 2008, I think, was the last time you saw someone get stretchered off. Come on, that's now 7 years ago. Actually, now 8 years ago. But yeah, and moving on to the new team management menu, which actually show you 4 times. It looks really smooth, especially the hexagons at the bottom when comparing players. It's very reminiscent of past PES games. Not a lot of people know this, but like that thing was huge back in the day, because you just didn't really care about looking at that individual stat. Well, if you were a younger individual like I was, you didn't care about the individual stats. You were just like, oh, he's got like so much more speed and dribbling and like shooting, but he didn't have good defending, and it was just really far in. But when you were like changing players, it actually meant something. Like when it comes to like online, and let's say you have like 15 seconds left, and you're like, I'm not going to check the individual stats. What's his pace in comparison to him? You just want to see the hexagon, and then you like know that it's that. So it adds to the game again. It's a small thing, but it really does add and make it look better. Also, the team management screen looks really fantastic. It's really sharp and a lot more. It looks a lot better than last year. And of course, the overall rating's not final, so I'm not going to complain about any of that at all. The game, of course, will change all over the place. And one thing I did like is when a player is highlighted, pressing and holding X will allow you to move the player position. So compared to last year, you have to go to a different menu to move a player. Now you can just be like, you select the player and then you like hold X and you just move him. So you don't have to bother going like, if you wanted to play, you're playing like 4-2-3-1, you're being beaten 1-0 5 minutes ago, you want to put 4 players up front, it takes you like 25 seconds, because you have to like put the players into the right position before moving them, when in this one you'd be able to take off the players you don't really care about and then move them forward. So without having to go back and forward between two menus. So that's quite it's a small, but it's an essential addition to the game. In the 1v1 player game, when the GameSpot footage, which I'll put like a little small thing which just says it's GameSpot footage, the player playing as Germany is horrendously poor at this game, so don't even be like, my god, you're so bad at this game, because it's not me playing the game. Like, I just don't, I wouldn't be that bad. But there are some really cool 1v1s happening in the third game, especially for a lot of cool skipping over tackle animations. It's a lot of stuff with Neymar on like the left hand side, but it does look really cool. Like just really, it's small stuff, but it looks really cool. The rainbow flick happens in the third game. It looks sick, but it seems like it's extremely easy to do like the last games, which isn't a good thing at all. Up the goddamn difficulty for doing that skill move, come on, it's ridiculous. However, in some instances, the game looks a little bit too fast. It just looks a little bit too fast in terms of the animation jarring. The animations jar ever so slightly when someone's doing stuff really quickly. But again, I think that's maybe down to the individual playstyles, because in the first and second game, it doesn't really seem that fast. And then it's just the third game, it just looks ridiculously fast, because the guy who's playing with Brazil is like, I just want to run with Neymar. And the guy of Germany just hardly even has the ball. I mean, but like the German actually alright. But I mean, yeah. But moving on, the referees seem improved. There's an instance of play on when Neuer's fouled in the third game. He seems a little bit more lenient, and some of the players get away with fouls, which would be definite yellows in PES 2015, especially when Willian runs past Hummels and Hummels just takes him out. It'd be a yellow card in PES 2015 like straight away. So hopefully the referees have been improved. The ad board transitions just look so much smoother than like ever, and again, it adds to realism. It's a small thing, adds to it. I just cannot wait to play this game myself, and hopefully a demo date is released. It should be announced soon. The game comes out in 3 months. There should be a demo probably not in July, but hopefully like early August, like Gamescom sort of time period. So that should be really good. And of course, if you want a PES 2015 comparison video, so like PES 2015 versus PES 2016 with screenshots, gameplay, whatnot, just comment for it below, and I'll get to it, because of course I've got time now. And because of course no more E3. You want some E3 reactions, because I reacted to a lot of crap. Of course it won't be live reactions now, but it was amazing how much stuff was announced at that Sony press conference. Holy Jesus Christ. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel for more, and catch you later.